When I bent down to pick up my chopsticks, I accidentally saw my best friend rubbing her foot against my husband's leg, just as I started to suspect something between them. My husband said it wasn't convenient for her and her mom to stay here, and suggested getting them another place to live. I told him it was fine, the villa was big enough for all of us anyway. Then, I urged him to head to work after we stepped out. I wanted to question him about what I saw, but seeing his expression, I gave up the idea. I told him to go ahead to the office, and said I had to go back to get something. But just as I reached the door, I overheard a shocking conversation between my best friend and her mother. She said she dressed sexy last night, yet my husband still rejected her. Hearing that, I realized I had misunderstood him. Then her mother told her if she wanted to become a CEO's wife, she had to get pregnant with my husband's child. Once she had the baby, she could kick me out and take over everything. She even gave her a dirty little plan. What they didn't know was that I heard every word loud and clear. After leaving the villa, I contacted my team and launched a bold plan. Sure enough, in the middle of the night, my best friend sneaked into our bedroom. She dug through the trash, found a used condom, and quickly slipped away. As soon as she left, I sat up from the bed, then quietly went to the living room where she was bragging to her mom, saying she would go to the hospital right now. And once she was pregnant with my husband's baby, this house would be theirs. They even started dreaming about the future and picked a name for the baby inside the condom. A month passed. She really got pregnant. And it was a healthy baby boy. Her mother was thrilled. They came back to my house with the report claiming the child was my husband's. My husband was completely confused. He had no idea what was going on. I stood up on purpose, told her not to joke about things like that, and seriously asked whose baby it was. My husband also urged her to explain clearly, but then she panicked, thinking if she admitted it now, my husband might force her to have an abortion. So she decided to wait until the baby was born. She quickly said she was just joking, but that she did get pregnant while staying in our home. Her mother chimed in, claiming they had a rule back home. If a woman got pregnant while living under someone's roof, that family had to care for her until she gave birth and hire the best nanny too, listening to their nonsense. I almost laughed out loud, but I said nothing because I was waiting for the moment they found out who the real father was. My husband told them they should leave since we'd be out of town for a while, but then I spoke up, saying she was my best friend. Of course she could stay here during her pregnancy. Then I told her to relax, and that would hire a top-tier nanny to care for her. She smiled on the outside, but inside she thought I was an idiot. Soon my husband and I left, and the gold standard nanny moved in from that day on. My best friend ruled the house. She shouted at the staff, even punished my daughter for no reason. She warned my daughter if she told us anything, she'd throw her into a ditch at meals she didn't let my daughter eat. Luckily, the nanny had saved a portion in the kitchen. She couldn't understand why I let such a vicious woman stay, but what she didn't know was that my plan was about to succeed. Then one day, her mom caught her sneaking food in the kitchen. She walked over with her pregnant belly, asked the nanny why she disobeyed her. Didn't she say not to give the girl food, and raised her hand to slap my daughter. The nanny begged her to stop, saying once I got back, they'd both be finished. Hearing her mention me, she got even angrier, told my daughter to fetch her a glass of water. The girl rushed to get it, but accidentally spilled it on her foot. She raised her hand to slap her, but just then I arrived in time. The door was pushed open. My husband and I were back. Seeing my daughter abused like this, I was furious and slapped my best friend hard, but I never expected that slap to become the start of her plot. She clutched her belly and screamed in pain, claiming she was pregnant with my husband's child. Then she fell to the ground and faked a miscarriage. My husband and I were trapped in shock and could only watch the ambulance take her away at the hospital. She and her mother looked not worried at all, but full of triumph. It turned out the pregnancy and miscarriage were all an act they staged themselves, just to steal our property. They believed that if they insisted the child was my husband's, they could rise by the child and drive me out of the house. To live the rich wife life they dreamed of, they rushed back to my home again. By then, my house was already a mess. Her mother acted like the lady of the house, bossing the servants around and throwing all my things out like trash. They rushed into my dressing room and lit up when they saw all the luxury items. Her mother smeared my expensive skincare all over her wrinkled face and mocked that. My best friend walked up to my husband holding a newborn baby and proudly said she was the future lady of this house. And the baby was his. My husband was shocked and furious. He firmly denied having anything with her, but she and her mother were fully prepared. Her mother cursed my husband as a heartless scumbag, saying he ruined her daughter's innocence. My best friend squeezed out a few tears and told a dramatic fake story. She said months ago one night, my husband was drunk and I was not home. She went to take care of him. He mistook her for me, held her tight, and said sweet words, then lost control and made a mistake. The story was full of holes, but they acted like it was real. They even threatened to die, saying if my husband did not admit the child, they would die at my front gate, facing their joint trap and this unknown baby. My husband had no way to defend himself.
My best friend held a newborn baby in her arms. Right in front of everyone, she pointed at my husband, claiming the powerful CEO was the baby's biological father. And it all started with this carefully staged farce. At that moment, my friend and her mother were putting on a show together, crying and accusing the CEO of getting her pregnant and abandoning her. She tearfully described how he lost control one drunken night and violated her innocence. She kept emphasizing that she was a pure college student, and now she had ended up in such a miserable state, saying she didn't want to live anymore. Faced with this sudden accusation, my husband was at a total loss for words. He desperately tried to explain to me that he could never betray me, let alone touch my best friend. But my friend came closer with the baby in her arms, telling him to look at how much the baby resembled him. What's worse, she publicly humiliated me for being an old woman who couldn't have children, while she was young and beautiful, and had given birth to a son for the CEO's family, claiming they were the real family of three. It was clear what this vile mother and daughter were after. They wanted to use this child of unknown origin to cling to the CEO's family and steal the billion-dollar fortune. But as the rightful wife, I stayed unusually calm. I didn't scream or cry like a madwoman. I just stared coldly at my friend's pathetic performance. I trusted my husband, and I exposed her lie right on the spot. I asked her why she had stayed silent for the entire 10 months of pregnancy, why she only showed up to make a scene after the child was born. Seeing her plan fail, she and her mother began to throw a tantrum, claiming they were too afraid of the CEO's power to speak up. I had no interest in wasting more time on them. I called the bodyguards and had the shameless mother and daughter dragged out of the house along with the so-called child as they were being thrown out. I left them with one meaningful sentence. I was really looking forward to seeing her reaction when she found out the truth, but instead of backing off, they became even more outrageous. They painted themselves as victims bullied by a wealthy family. They maliciously claimed the CEO had raped her and now refused to acknowledge his own child, that the cruel wife had kicked them out. The public, who knew nothing of the truth, was instantly outraged. Their sympathy exploded. They started filming with their phones. Determined to seek justice for this pitiful mother and son, public opinion erupted overnight. Crowds gathered outside the CEO's house, shouting for my husband and me to come out. With the furious crowd outside and an online storm brewing, trapped inside the mansion, how would we fight back?